People don't care what you say. They care how you say it. I learned this lesson the hard way at 14 when I signed up for the state talent competition. The only problem was I didn't have a talent. I couldn't sing. I definitely could not dance. There was really only one thing I could do. I remember peeking through the curtains from backstage. That ballroom was packed with people, and up front was a massive desk with 6 evaluators. I felt the tap on my shoulder, and I knew that was my cue. So I stepped up into the spotlight, vulnerable and alone, just waiting to be judged. The other girls, they had sequins and glitter and flaming batons. I had the only thing I needed, a microphone. So what could a girl from Boulder, Colorado possibly say to take home the trophy? Turns out, it wasn't what I said, it was how I said it. Because all the tap dancing in the world can't compete against how it feels to emotionally connect through communication. The secret isn't great information, it's great delivery. This explains why it's not always the most informed experts who get the TV gigs. The most entertaining one does. The professor with the greatest theory doesn't always fill classrooms. The most engaging one does. And the startup with the best idea doesn't always get funded. The one with the most compelling pitch does. This is our reality, but it doesn't have to be our future. We can give the brightest spotlight back to our brightest minds as soon as we can answer this question. How do you speak to make people love to listen and remember what you say? Answering this question has become my life's work. You see, for 2,000 years, experts have depended on their voices to spread their information around the world. For them, oration was a critical, lifelong craft. Today, our society centers around the written word. We're so caught up in blogs and text messages and emails that we've conned ourselves into believing that a speech is just words on paper. It's not. A speech is sound on eardrums. I watched Diana, this brilliant author, give a book talk recently. About 3 minutes in, I look around the auditorium and I see hundreds of faces looking down at their phones. Andy is sitting next to me and he leans over saying, "Listening to Diana talk just ruined her books for me." Diana's not alone. In fact, it's not even her fault. We have been well trained to write for reading, but no one teaches us how to write for speaking. If you want to make people listen and remember what you say, stop writing your presentations the way you write your papers. Stop writing for how your speech reads and start writing for how your speech sounds. It's called SoundWriting. This method stems from scientific research and aligns with how our minds intake, process, and recall information so that we can maximize your audience's attention and retention. At the heart of all of this is making your audience feel something. Because as I'm speaking to you right now, my words are sound waves, and your brain is interpreting them first for emotion and second for information. That matters. Because it means that if I can't emotionally engage you, my information isn't even going to reach you. You're also not likely to remember what I say because emotion plays a major role in how our brains store and recall memories, says research from psychologist Donald McKay. So how do we make people feel something when we talk? According to multiple studies from Yale University, Michael Krauss is telling us that when it comes to articulating emotion and judging the emotions of a speaker? The sounds of your voice matter more than your words and more than your body language. You can see proof of this basically any Saturday night when dates get prematurely canceled because he said, "You look fine," when what he should have said is, "You look fine." It's the same information, but when your voice sounds like that, you communicate everything she wants to feel. When we put all of these insights together, content is not king. Delivery is king. However, you can't just deliver nonsense. You have to use words, the words you choose, and the way you put those words together impacts how you can deliver and what emotions you're able to make your audience feel. Sound writing is how good ideas become amazing speeches because it takes your information and writes it in a way that enables your compelling delivery. This is how, when you sound write your speeches, what you say motivates action. Sound writers look at speeches the way songwriters look at music. You can't just cram in any words you want. It has to have the right syllables, the register, all of that and more is taken into consideration. So I wanted to know, how can we make our speeches as emotionally engaging and memorable as our favorite music without turning every boardroom into a Broadway musical? The answer is, you follow 3 simple steps that form the foundation of sound writing: emotion, information, and coordination. Let's begin. Step 1 is emotion. From the very beginning, I want you to think about how you want your audience to feel at the end of your talk. Maybe that's fired up, maybe that's calmed down. Choose any emotion you want. We're going to make everything else align with that goal. Step 2 is information. What are you going to say? I recommend that you bullet out your key points and then record yourself talking through them. Pull that transcript, and we're going to use it as the foundation of your speech. This is how we're going to protect you from the #1 cause of awkward public speaking, which is trying to deliver words you never use. Embrace all of your contractions, the can'ts and won'ts. If it makes you feel comfortable, it'll make your audience feel comfortable, and that is half the battle. All that's left is step 3, coordination. This is where we take your intended emotional outcome and we align it with your information so that when you deliver, what you deliver pleases the ear and reaches your audience's brain. You can think of soundsmithing kind of like ninja-level wordsmithing, where we're going to take your information and fine-tune it, not just for meaning, but also for sound, how it forms the music of your overall message. By the way, you don't have to sound write your entire talk. Doing even just a few sentences or your thesis this way will still pack a serious punch for you. Inside coordination, there are so many tools I could give you, but for right now, I want you to focus on these 2 first: letter sound and pacing. Letter sound is how I describe the way a word sounds in your ear based on its letters and pronunciation. That matters because certain sounds evoke certain emotions. So if we want to make your audience feel a certain way, we need to make sure that the words you're choosing are creating the sounds that actually achieve that emotion. Let me give you an example. If I want to soothe or endear an audience, choose words that are pleasing to the ear, like luscious. And if I want to rile people up, add cacophony. Those are words like jolting and chastise. Now, I want to give you the power of pacing. Just like in music, that drum beat sets your heartbeat. And when I pick up the pace, I'm affecting my audience's pulse. If you want to keep people on the edge of their seats, you're going to need short sentences, short syllables, and strategic clauses. And if you want to calm people down, make them think a little bit more, add more rest notes. because silence can say as much as sound. Extend your sentences, then land your thesis in 9 words or less. This is how we're going to make your audience's brains think, wait a second, one of these sentences is not like the rest. And that's where they're going to throw their attention, right on top of your takeaway. It's that simple. The 3-step sequence for SoundWriting is emotion, information, and coordination. Now you have a choice: to use SoundWriting or to have it used against you. Because nobody cares what you say. They care how you say it. And today, your great idea, it's not enough. Because until you can get what's in here out here, no one will ever hear you. So join me and SoundWriters around the world to ensure that when you speak, you will be heard. Thank you.